What up, tubers? Yes, another lame video by your old pal Jackhammer Mike. Haven't done a garage review for a while. It's because it's been like 150 degrees in here. And today it's going to only get up to maybe 103-ish later on. 10 o'clock in the afternoon or in the morning, and it's only about 90. So it's very tolerable right now, so I thought I'd come out and show you this cool new percolator, Farberware, I think is how it's pronounced. Yeah, Farberware, 12 cup, yeah right, percolator. Now you're gonna say, but hey Jackhammer, the grid's down. No electricity. I can't plug in my Mr. Coffee. I can't plug in my Keurig. My electric stove doesn't work. Well, Jackhammer Mike, in any situation, is gonna have coffee. So that's just all there is to it. Now, you've seen the French press in action, and you guys gave us a bunch of crap because you thought we were throwing in Folgers. Like, you got that great coffee maker, why are you putting such crap coffee in there? Well, it wasn't crap coffee. It's my preferred way to store this, because the bag is just a pain in the ass. This is Silver Spur Buckaroo blend. This is like the lighter of the three roasts that they have, and this is my go-to coffee. It's good stuff. I bought another one to try. This is Daybreak blend, but it's a dark roast. So, gonna try this. Now I started giving it a little thought. I got this yesterday, and I immediately made a pot of coffee. It was tasty. For the first time out, it was really, really good. I made another one this morning, and it was dynamite. You know, it's just good stuff. I don't think you can beat brewing it with a percolator. Now, if you want rocket fuel, the French press should be your go-to source of energy. The only problem is with it is that it makes about a cup and a half, a big cup, you know, my Duke cup of coffee. Two smaller cups of coffee is all it really makes at a time. This one, they say it makes 12. I think it probably is more like 10 bigger cups. You know, they always do that, you know, 5 to 6 ounce cups. And they say, oh yeah, it's got 12 cup capacity. Well, not the coffee cup I use. That's at least 2 cups of coffee. So, anyway, this is great in a pinch. This is really good for a single cup of coffee or so. This is more for getting ready for breakfast and things like that. Pretty simple device. If you haven't ever seen one, this is made really solid. This is all stainless steel, no aluminum. You know, I know there's aluminum coffee makers out there, percolators, but aluminum and the Alzheimer's connection, and I don't trust aluminium if you're British. So it's all stainless steel, pretty well built. The one thing I see as a problem, the first time I used this last night, I washed it afterwards. Well, I washed it before and after, and the spring is not attached. Okay, it went right down the old garbage disposal. It wasn't running or anything, relax, but yeah, it went down there. So this is very easy to glue. You might want to grab a couple of spares, and quite honestly, I'm going to give it a try without the spring. The thing of it is that it presses it up to the top of that and makes, I guess, maybe a tighter seal, a little better seal for it. I don't know. It's a good inch or so difference in height if you put this in and that means your water level is going to have to be lower because it's going to really be sitting in there. So maybe grab a couple extra springs just in case you lose one, especially out camping. Alright, so pretty basic. We got to get this filled with water before we can do anything, so stand by for that. Hey, I'm using the Coleman because I already made 2 pots on the stove in the kitchen. Anybody can do that. This is going to be a test. What's it going to be like camping? Yeah, it took this about 13 minutes to start boiling. And then once it boils, you wait till it gets a little dark as far as the coffee coming out of the top nut here that you can see. When it starts getting a little color to it, turn the heat down a little bit and put it on for I put it on for 9 minutes both times, and it was awesome. The first time I did it, I set this in here and then brought it up to a boil. The second time I did it, I brought it up to a boil, turned it off. I have a gas range, so it went off real quick. Then I put this in there and turn it back on and wait till the color starts coming through. There was really no difference in taste at all, and it really wasn't any faster or slower brewing it. So I know that the way I fill it, the bottom of this thing sets in the coffee, so I think I like it in there to begin with, and as it heats up, that way that coffee's got a little extra time to blend in there. I don't know, like I said, I couldn't really tell much of a difference. I think the coffee I made this morning was a little bit better because I added a little bit more coffee. I did 7 instead of 6 yesterday. So it's really, really good coffee. So all right, let me get this filled and then we'll put her together. I will tell you that basically I fill it to here, right at the bottom. You can't really see much inside this can, okay, but it's spot welded all around here, so there's a little line. There are some numbers here on the sides, but they're so faint you can't even read them. They're not even pressed in there. I don't know how they did it, but yeah, there's no markings for cups. So I basically have been just to the bottom of the spout, and that's been working out super sweet. So all right, we're back. Kettle's full, and oh, just in case, you know, if anybody asks, I get comments in the bottom, hey, what kind of a handgun that is, or that was, what is that? It's my trusty handy dandy Beretta 92D Centurion, customized by yours truly. What do you mean customized? Well, said it in my other videos, I won't go over it much. This used to be a double action only, but by putting in a hammer, putting in a shear, some other little gizmo, it becomes a single action, double action, and there's no safeties on it. Oh my God! God! It's got no safeties. Is this so dangerous? No, it's not. It's got a hammer block on the top, so you can't, or the trigger block, or firing pin block, dummy. So you cannot shoot this without pulling the trigger. Sweet gun, sweet piece. I did put a, what was it? A Wolf 1911 spring in here, hammer spring, which was about a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch shorter. Makes a trigger pull super sweet. 3-pound pull on a single action. About 5-ish, maybe 4.5 on double. Just a little eye candy. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. This obviously, the one cool thing about it is that, you know, if you wanted to use this and make a couple cups, take this big old beast and fill it full of water and boil it, and then it makes this a lot faster. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to just get the water going on this thing, because I want to just simulate somewhat what it's going to be like out camping. How easy is this gonna be? How long does it take to heat up? Like I said, it was 13 minutes on the gas stove last night. So I anticipate it's gonna be maybe the same. I don't know, I think these burners are better than a gas stove. I think they're hotter. So we'll see what's gonna happen here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just get this going, and then I'll fill up our little chingus. I'll show you a trick to that. And then put it in there and we'll rock and roll. Got my phone, so I put my timer on, and we'll go from there. So let's get this thing lit. Crank that bad boy up. The handle was really nice. It never got hot at all. I will tell you, this is hot as a son of a bitch. All that hot boiling water is touching this. You need a pot holder. All right, so here's what I did yesterday and today. I'm definitely using a filter on it. It helped out a lot. Boy, I think it's making all sorts of racket, ain't it? Hot. Okay, so now I did it two different ways. I basically had this setting off to the side and tried to smush it on there, and it tore a little bit. Not anything big, but it tore. Now you can see how low that sits in the cup. Now when you add this to it, it sits up a lot higher, just right at the top of the cup. You could even push down on it and get yourself a little extra, okay? It's a lot easier to push that filter onto that. So just try and center it. You know, I've seen guys like fold this all up and then cut a little tip off and all that shit. Forget it. It's paper, folks. Try to get it centered. Try not to make too big of a hole. It's got a little hole in its hair. It's not that big of a deal. Promise. No. That's 7. 7 scoops. Try and even it out a little bit. Pack it down just a touch. Make sure all your edges of your coffee filter are up against the side and then sticking out. Alright, cool. Now that is going to go into the Folgers container regardless of what you say. Alright, so now with that, top goes on and it just goes in here. Now when that mamma jamma starts going, then that's when you know it's ready. Oh, I guess I should have put the timer on, damn it. Alright, well, I got the counter on the camera. Lots of what? 4 minutes maybe? 5? Yeah, it's a noisy little cuss. There's my boy. What's up, Maxwell? What's up, Max? Find any pirates out there? No pirates? Good boy. Scared them all away, didn't you? If you don't have a phone, maybe an egg timer might help. Put in your camping gear, your kitchen gear, a little egg timer or something. Or hopefully you've got an analog watch, you can count down. But once it gets going, and you'll see here in a minute, I put it on for about 9 minutes. I'll tell you what, I was really surprised on how good the coffee tasted. I heard someone say something about because you're bringing it up to a boil and you're cooking it rather than just drip brewing, you're giving it a chance to get some of the acid and some of the bitterness out. I don't know whether that's true or not, but I can tell you that there's a big difference between the coffee that I made this morning with the same brand, same blend, out of this percolator, then it's totally different out of the coffee maker. I got a pretty decent one. It's a nice Black & Decker coffee maker. It's always made excellent coffee, but this is definitely better tasting, I think. You can also brew it longer and you can get a heavier flavor out of it, I guess, with a richer coffee, so to speak. Boy, hold my pinky out when I'm drinking this shit. Gourmet. It's funny, they say a watched pot never boils. And last night, it took me like I said, 13 some odd minutes to get this boil. And I'm thinking, no way, man, that burner's on high, it's blaring. Come on. And it was just natural tap water. Out here, our tap water is probably about 80 degrees right now. So I was like, shit, it took forever. And it's probably I was sitting there watching it like I'm doing right now, so it's going to take extra long. If I had just gone off on my merry way and not paid attention to it, it'd probably be halfway done by now, burning the hell out of it behind my back when I'm not looking. So, but it's really lightweight. I mean, if you can pack that into your camping gear, maybe store your coffee in it in Ziploc bags or pre-measured vacuum seal bags, which is what I'm going to do next, is pre-measure a bunch and then have it ready to go. So all I have to do is just cut it open and pour it in. I don't have to measure. I don't have to actually bring a container and this. I can just have a bunch of packets. The less weight, the better, folks. There it goes. There it goes. All right, so 8, 9, 10, about 13, roughly. All right. Set. Let's get the timer going. It's already set to 9 minutes. And what you do is you watch it for a minute. When you start seeing a little bit of color in the water, which you can already see it, then you want to just start cooking it for about 9 minutes. That's all I did. I'm going to give it a little bit more, like a little bit darker up there. Yeah, that's looking good. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the heat down. Lower, start her up, and give it about 9 minutes. Like, this thing burned really hot, so you want the flames just enough where this thing keeps percolating. Let's see, yeah, there it goes. There we go. All right. You don't want to turn it down too low, because if it's not percolating, and you don't want to get it too high, because you don't want to burn your coffee, but you want it flowing just like that for 9 minutes. And experiment, you know, turn this down, watch it. You can see it slow down, it's pretty quick. See, it's starting to slow down a little bit. Oh, maybe not. Just keep it like that. I don't want to burn my coffee too much. Alright, got the cup, I'm ready to rock. Now, the thing of it is that, what was my point I was going to make? Oh, using that filter on that thing, I haven't had any grounds in the bottom of this thing at all. Worked really nice. Oh, Max, big ass. Come on, you big baby. You want to come out 5 minutes ago. Dork. Yeah, the filters didn't allow for really much in the way of any coffee grounds in that thing at all. And once I get done brewing it, I'm going to pull that basket. I'm going to let it steep for a few minutes. So that it kind of drains out of that basket, so it drips out, gets the most out of the coffee. Man, it smells good. In the garage, I can't believe I'm brewing coffee in the garage. But yeah, it smells really, really good. I'll probably experiment with it a little bit more and see what it's like to leave it on for like 15 minutes. See how well that tastes and what kind of a difference it makes. But this is really fun. You know, it's nice to have. It's a great little piece of kit. You know, if you're out on a fire, or you're out camping, or you're out surviving. You know, I think the next time when we go out with sappers, when we're all digging fire holes, I'm going to make a Dakota fire hole too. And I've got a grid. I've got 2 grids, one for tacos or the contingency plans, and then one for me. So as we're both doing our Dakota fire holes, I'm going to brew a cup of coffee on it, see how long it takes to get that thing hot. Probably going to be quite a bit of difference, but we'll have to see it. Those Dakota fire holes, I mean, that heat concentrated in one hole, I'll bet you it goes pretty quick. We'll see. Where's my dog? Max, where'd you run off to? Oh, you're not pirates again? Alright, we're at the 4-minute mark. Now I will tell you, this stuff is too damn hot to drink right off the bat, unless you like your coffee really, really hot. Right now, that's a rolling boil. You know, you'd be wise to give it a few minutes to cool off. You know, at least so you can sip it. I kind of can feel my tongue got burnt last night or yesterday. Stuff is extremely hot. Now I have a couple of thermoses that I'll probably will pour that into when I get done with it, and like when we're out camping, and keep it nice and hot. If not, you know, you turn your flame on, let it go on low for a few minutes, use your head, you know, warm it up a little bit, but you're doing that constantly. In the thermos, nah, that shit stays hot all day. I love those Stanley thermoses. Now, Farberware has another one. I think it's called the Yosemite. It makes 8 cups. And you know what that means? It's actually probably 6 or 5 big ones like this. But they quite a bit of a price difference for just a few cups more of coffee. That little 8-cupper was 15-ish on Amazon, something like that, like 15. That was like 32. Free shipping though, so you want to consider the shipping going into it, then you probably knock off $5 to $7 on it maybe. But you know, $32. I got to get so much use out of that thing. It's going to be amazing. I love having coffee out camping, and I don't like the instant crap it'll do, you know, when you have to have it. You know, you're an MRE or something, you gotta have MRE coffee at least once in your life. But man, when I can make this, if I'm gonna have truck camping, I'm taking luxuries, and this is gonna be a major score out there. It's gonna be so tasty. and if shit hits the fan, old Jackhammer Mike is going to set himself up a little stand, go down to the marketplace where everybody is bartering, and I'm going to go and barter me some coffee. How much would you pay for a nice hot cup of joe on a cold winter's day? Oh, and just smell. Oh, smell. Yeah. I don't know, a cup of coffee, a good sized cup of coffee, not just some dinky thing. 10 rounds AR ammo I'd probably give up. That's only because I got a shit ton of it. Alright, we're down to 18 seconds. Alright, time. Come on, stop. Alright, so let's turn this off. Turn the propane off, we don't need it anymore. Now we're going to let that set for a couple of minutes just to get that stuff draining. See, it's still perking out of there. So you don't want to lift that lid yet because, I mean, one, if it splashes on you, that would suck. Two, it's still perking, so that means it's going to be going through that coffee chamber. I'd like to get that coffee out of there as quick as possible, so it's not sitting in there all day. Getting nasty, and you know, you don't really need it in there. But you definitely want to wait for that thing to simmer down, as they would say. That burner's still a little warm, but looking good. And maybe for a couple of apples or a couple of oranges, when you get your coffee, we won't be subversive like In-N-Out Burger where they put Bible verses on the bottom of the cup. But you know, maybe for a few pieces of fruit, a couple of oranges, a couple of apples, something like that, I'll get the contingency plan to come out and read you a Bible verse or two. That sounds like a winner, huh? Alright, so it does look like it stopped bubbling out of the top there. I'm gonna be able to get that out of there. Get everything flat. I found this to be a little tricky because there's not a lot to grab onto. Get every last drop of that. Oh, look at that. Oh, I wish you could smell how good that is. Alright, so put the lid back on so flies don't get on it. Now you have a big old pot of camp coffee. Now I saw some other guy do this, I guess I'll do it too. There's all kinds of recipes and ways to cook this coffee or teach people how to do it. But this is from Jackhammer Mike, so you know it's going to be good. That Duke. Alright, let's see if you guys can tell what this is going to taste like just from the color of it. Yeah. Now there's nothing fast about camp coffee or percolator coffee. It even the hole that you have to pour it in is kind of small on this thing, so it doesn't pour as fast as I might like. But it is what it is. It is an excellent, excellent cup of coffee. All right, folks. Man, it smells good. Oh, that is really, really good. Cool. 2 thumbs up. 2 snaps up, as they would say on Living Color. All right, there you have it. Farberware, 12 cup slash 10 cups, maybe. More like 8 cups like this. Oh, it's dynamite coffee too. It is just absolute dynamite. I don't know if you did actually use something cheap like Folgers, and there's nothing wrong with Folgers. It's good coffee. I'll drink it in a pinch. I'll buy it in a pinch, and I don't want to drive all the way up to Winco. I can only get this at Winco. I don't know if I've even seen it online. The Silver Spur coffee, but it's at Winco. And $9 for a 2-pound bag, so pretty decent price. And it's really, really tasty. It's like restaurant coffee, but it's better. All right, so with that, I am out.